Alrighty, here's the first test of the home-built wiring harness. This is for a dual range setup. I found some instructions stating that the dual range has a shift motor, and it's basically like a worm gear that goes in and out, and it's on for about 1.6 seconds, and that is the time it takes for that worm gear to go in or out. So as you can see right now, I got the shaft marked at the top dead center, and this is offset just a tiny bit, but I'm going to spin it once. So there we are, and there's one turn, and you can see that it is right back in the same spot. So we are 1 to 1. So with a timer, relay, control board thing, a 2-position on switch, it's 6-pole, I'm only using the 3. So I'm gonna have to kind of juggle my hands here. I'm gonna have to flip the switch and quickly start spinning it so it can start to engage, but here we go. So I'm gonna flip the switch. I hear the motor running, and there it is. So now let's see, there's top dead center right there, and you can see it's right down at the bottom, that mark. I'm gonna spin it 1 revolution here, 1 revolution. Beautiful. And you can see the mark is not there. It is now just showed up, which means it's in overdrive. And now I'm gonna spin it again. Hold on. I'm gonna try and get the marks to line up. That's top, and actually that's bottom. So all right, here we go. You just heard the motor click. All right, so there's top. That's top dead center. And right here, it's like a little bit off bottom. So now I'm gonna spin it 1 revolution to a little bit off bottom. And right there, just off bottom and top dead center. So this is working. So I'm gonna unplug this and just show you. So my harness here, so as you can see, it's got nothing going on. I flip this switch, and you can see A, and it runs for 1.7 seconds. Let's see, I'll zoom in a little bit more. Now I'm gonna flip it the other direction. B, 1.7 seconds. A, 1.7 seconds. So I may switch that back to 1.6 because I saw somewhere they said 1.6. I just did 1.7, but I can confirm that this is working. So obviously this is a giant mess, but this will allow me to install the dual range setup in my F550, which you could see is a mess right now and quite big. 7.3 488s and a 245 70 19.5, so a 33. So on the freeway at 70 miles an hour, it's at like 2,500 RPM. This will let me split every gear, and it'll let me run like 85 or 87 miles an hour before being back at 2,500 RPM. So it'll drop RPM. This unit is discontinued. It was made by US Gear, dual range, and this thing is rated for 35,000 pounds gross weight. And it's designed for towing, unlike the gear vendors, which always fail when you're towing. And they say, yeah, you can use it in any gear for any load up to 35,000 pounds, which this truck's hauled about 30,000 pounds gross weight. That's the max I've done in the past. I can't imagine I'm going to do more than that, but yeah, so most of these units, they go behind the transfer case, but this one actually goes in between the transmission and the transfer case. So it was for a ZF6. I heard the bolt pattern. Well, I know the bolt pattern's the same, but I heard the stick out is like 3/4 of an inch more. So I may have to make a 3/4 inch spacer for the trans to this, but that's simple. This was definitely probably a harder part for me. So anyways, I'm getting there. Just gotta, figure out the depth and see if I need to make a spacer. make a legit harness. I'd love to find like a local guy who can 3D print and put this in like a little box or something. And then make a legit harness, and then get the drive shafts shortened for the rear and lengthened for the front. So yeah, this is exciting. I'm really excited. This is going to be a great addition to the truck. Only other couple things I got to do is for this, well, obviously I'm going to clean it. Hold on. I don't want to crush this thing and break it, so let me move that. Hold on. All right, here we go. All right. The only other thing is this is the fill port. Supposedly there's a dipstick, and there is no dipstick that came with it, so I got to figure that out. But yeah, the rest of it should be good to go after a good bath, because this thing is filthy. So